Hello everyone, it's Mark. I am the Sanderson Collector, and I am here this week with a new book haul of a couple of French and Russian editions. The first new edition this week is the French edition of the bind-up Legion, The Many Lives of Stephen Leeds, and they used the cover from Legion, Lives of the Beholder in the sub-press edition by John Foster for this one in the mass market paperback format in France. There's not a ton to show inside this one. They did the little ink blots for each chapter. The book is translated into French. There's not really any illustrations or anything to show off. Of course, as is tradition, and is going to be what happens for all of these books, here is my name in the back of the book with the acknowledgments. And of course, if you want any of the information about the ISBN or anything else for any of these books, that will be in the description for the video. The next book to look at is another French edition, and it is Skyward. Now this Skyward has cover art by D'Elaine Brion, who is the cover artist who also does all of the Stormlight covers in French. I really like this cover because not only do you have Spensa and some spaceships looking out over the barren surface of the planet, but you also get a sense of the debris field that orbits detritus and what an opening in that debris field might actually look like. And that's something that we haven't seen as much. A lot of the other covers have focused on just going to the stars or being a starship pilot, and so I really do like this one. Here at the front of the book we have the map translated, and of course all of the diagrams throughout for the various flight maneuvers have also been translated into French. This is a rather hefty volume. It comes in at basically exactly 700 pages, which is considerably longer than any of the US editions. So I guess the French words tend to take up more room on the page than the English words. And of course we have to find me right here as a gamma reader. We have Mark Lindbergh, call sign Megalodon, and this is one where they actually did a little bit of translation on the call sign and put the accent on there. That was not in the original, so that was pretty cool to see. I'm not actually sure what this edition is considered in French, whether it's like a medium format paperback, whatever, because it is a little bit larger than the mass market Legion that I got, but it will fit with all of the larger size Stormlight books I have on the shelf, and that's going to look really nice. Now that's all the French editions that I have for today, but that is not the only edition of Skyward I have for today. I also have this really cool edition in Russian of Skyward. And on this one, I really love the depictions of the starships and Spence's suit. They look very sleek, futuristic, professional, so I think it's really cool to see those depicted on this art. If I'm understanding my translator app correctly, the illustrator for this cover is Sergei Sikin. They printed the map in full color as both the front end paper and the back end paper for this, and it looks really nice. Of course, all of the diagrams in here are translated into Russian. And the only thing left to do is find my name in the acknowledgments, which is right here. And the only way I was actually able to find this one is because it has my call sign with it. I do not read Cyrillic characters, and so I assume that sounds very close to my actual name, but I am not 100% sure. But that is really cool to see in the Russian edition of Skyward, and I look forward to seeing the covers that they do for the rest of this series. Now, the last book I have is, I guess, a bit of a cheater because it's two books. It is the 2 volumes of Oathbringer in Russian. Both of them feature the cover art from the US edition by Michael Whelan. If you look at the back of the books, Volume 1 does not show an ISBN, Volume 2 does, and they came together wrapped up in shrink wrap, and I'm assuming in Russia that is how they are normally sold. However, inside Volume 1, inside the back flap, there is an ISBN, so I guess it could be sold separately. And inside Volume 2, there is also an ISBN, and that is right here. And neither of those match the ISBN that is on the back of Volume 2, which is really interesting. I guess that means there's an ISBN for the pair and an ISBN for each individual book. For the end papers on these, they did the map of Roshar and the other map of Roshar plus the double I of the Herald, which were the end papers for the US edition of The Way of Kings. Unfortunately, that was Volume 2, and here in Volume 1, they have done the exact same thing, so sadly we don't get to see the Herald arts in this book. I'm guessing they didn't license them for the Russian edition. All of the maps and diagrams and sketches inside are translated. And last but not least, in Volume 1, the acknowledgments are at the front, and so my name is right here. And like I said, I found this by going first to Skyward, looking for my name with the call sign, and then once I knew what the characters looked like, I found it here in Oathbringer. And that's going to be all of the book haul for this week. If you want more details on these books, go ahead and ask me a question in the comments or stop on over at the Collector Discord and ask questions. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave me a like, and if you want to make sure you don't miss future videos on my channel, please subscribe. I will be back next week, probably with an unboxing of what I think is the Siege of Luthadel expansion for the Mistborn House War board game, and I look forward to seeing y'all then. Until then, happy collecting!